Hi, this is Cindy Abbott-Letro for Behind the Camera, and I am sitting in the lobby of the beautiful North Park Theater on Hurdle Avenue. And certainly this theater is an institution within the city of Buffalo. And I think the program director is equally an institution, and that's Ray Barker. And Ray, welcome. Boy, you have had it for the past couple of years with COVID, and not just this theater, but theaters across the country. But in a way, this theater, because it's sort of a hometown institution. Tell me a little bit about what the past 2 years have been like for you.
It's been a very difficult time. Of course, because of COVID, all theaters in New York State closed in March 2020, and we were closed many, many months, almost a year, in fact. And it was very difficult because there was no revenue coming in the front door, and we still have expenses. So a very difficult time financially. And
really sort of heartbreaking because during that time it was the 100th anniversary of this beautifully restored theater.
That's right. We opened November 21st, 1920.
Wow.
And so 2020 was our 100th anniversary, our centennial anniversary. And sadly, we couldn't celebrate it in the high style that we wanted to. We did celebrate it, thank goodness. In fact, our last screening before we closed was on our anniversary date, and then we closed for many more months after that, unfortunately.
Now, your history, tell me a little bit about this, because 28 years, am I correct, that you have been associated with this theater?
That's right. I started working here in the early 90s. It was a movie called Widow's Peak, a classic art film, and Norm Deckert was the manager here. And I had seen a film here actually called Mediterraneo, which I absolutely love. It won the Oscar for Best Foreign Language Film. And I asked Norm if I could have the poster. And he took my information, and a week later I came back and bought the poster. And then he said, "How would you like to work here?" And I started working, and I've never left 28 years later.
Now, how does one prepare for a career as a program director at a theater like the North Park?
Well, first of all, you have to love the North Park. It has to be in your blood. It has to be something that you kind of can't live without.
Did you come here as a child?
I did. I was here, my earliest childhood memory actually is being here when I was 5 years old, looking up at the ceiling during Star Wars, and just thinking the dome ceiling looked like a big eye looking down at you, you know? So I was here from very early age and came back kind of when I was in high school to enjoy art films and the alternative and independent programming that the North Park offered, and came to love movies. And I think that's what you have to do to be a program director. You have to love movies, and movies from all over.
What happened during COVID as far as, you know, how people sort of felt the absence of this theater not being open?
Well, we had a lot of messages of support of people who wanted us to survive and offered their support. One of the things we tried to do to think outside the box was to create a virtual cinema, an online cinema where we could curate films and people could watch them. And some of the proceeds from that came to the North Park. So at least spiritually, anyway, people were with us, and people were very generous as well with their donations.
You know what I also love? You have used that marquee for wonderful messaging. You know, that has just been, it's meant so much to so many people in a time when they've been very isolated.
That's absolutely true. We've had so many happy moments remembered on the marquee: anniversaries, birthdays, special occasions, wedding proposals, and it really connects us with the community and the life of the neighborhood.
Tell me a little bit about the sort of niche that the North Park has now. You know, filmmaking is becoming really an important industry in our region. Yes. And now the North Park is sort of the place to go when you're going to have your red carpet opening.
Well, first of all, I think the original vision of Michael Shea was to give people a broader cultural perspective on the world. I mean, all due respect to kind of Hollywood blockbusters, not everyone wants to see Fast and the Furious 12. And so first of all, we want to give people a choice of things to see. And so there are a lot of cinephiles who want to come here because they know they'll see that small French film that they can't see anywhere else. But in terms of big celebrations of films like Marshall,
Right.
Or Turner Classic Movies coming to Buffalo and wanting to do The Natural,
Coldbrook.
Coldbrook, so many wonderful premieres have been here because we have that big old-fashioned screen that directors love. They want moviegoers to see films on that big canvas. They want people to be able to get together. We seat over 600 people.
Wow.
So you really get the energy of the crowd and people coming together. And it's just a beautiful architectural gem. I mean, anyone from anywhere who comes here is going to be impressed with what this theater looks like. It's one of Buffalo's assets.
When you say what this theater looks like, I remember years when I did come here, and I loved it, always did.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, the floors were a little sticky, the seats were a little challenged, you know, and the embracing of totally restoring this theater is one in which you were a part of.
Yeah, you know, Norm Deckert was our projectionist here from 1966 until he retired. And he did what he could with no budget to maintain the
Right.
place. But at a certain
I'm
point...
not blaming him, but I'm just saying that, you know, you came and you thought, if only we could fix this. And it's happened.
Well, you know, I used to look at that ceiling. There were cracks in the plaster. You couldn't appreciate the artwork in the dome. And so it does take money and it does take will. And we're very fortunate that we were rescued in 2013 by Buffalo citizens who did not want to see this theater lost. And so they put the resources in and helped get the momentum going to save this theater. And
Is it a not-for-profit now?
it is a not-for-profit. So when you come here, the point is to have this as a cultural treasure for decades to come.
Were there any surprises when you were doing the theater, things that you didn't expect to find that you did find?
Oh, this building has tons of surprises. I mean, I can think of some graffiti in one of the rooms backstage, dated 1941, that says "That old gang of mine."
Oh boy.
So you think, you know, that's World War II. There were people in uniforms working here, probably whiling away some downtime and, you know, putting a little graffiti back there, but in a way that becomes part of the historic building. So yeah, there's been a ton of surprises like that.
What does the future hold? What do you see? You know, hopefully we're going to get beyond all of this with COVID and things will get back to normal and your movie-going public will return, you know, in droves. But what do you see happening in the next few years?
Well, the movie industry is clearly in a state of transition and in flux, and we don't know exactly how things are going to pan out for the future. Obviously, there's this new challenge from streaming. But I think at the end of the day, people don't want to be in their apartments all the time. They don't want to be in their houses all the time. They want to come out. They want to see movies on the big screen. It's an affordable form of entertainment, particularly when compared with concerts and professional sports. So I think if we continue to have eclectic programming and really respond to our customers, we'll be here for years to come. You're absolutely right, too, about the film industry in Buffalo, which continues to grow, which continues to attract filmmakers. The film ecosystem is very complex. There are a lot of things that feed into it, but at the end of the day, that final product needs to be shown in a beautiful theater, and this is where directors want their films to play.
Well, I'm very grateful that as that 5-year-old child that you came here and saw Star Wars and fell in love with films, and that you have really dedicated your life, a good part of it, to keeping this theater going and making it beautiful and bringing film to Buffalo. So thank you very much, Ray, and I wish you much success. I really do. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much. It's a pleasure. We have a fantastic team here. I think everyone cares about this theater and its future. And we have wonderful customers, and if they keep coming, we will be here.
Well, it's no secret. The North Park Theater is a jewel on Hurdle Avenue, and you got to meet one of the people that has polished that jewel and that setting for a good number of years. Thank you for watching Behind the Camera.